What's up, boys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about how to get ripped as a teenager, and it is actually easier than you think. So in my opinion, now is the best time to start because you have less levels of testosterone as a teenager, and it'll be easier to build muscle faster as a teenager. So a lot of people want to get into the gym, but they feel nervous and they don't want to make a fool of themselves, and they don't know what to do. And I remember when I first started the gym, I was contemplating it for a while because I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to go in and make a fool of myself, but that's far from the truth. You'll never make a fool of yourself. You can literally do anything in the gym and no one would notice. So yeah, hopefully this video will help you get over some of them nerves and help you with sort of actually making that step, getting into the gym, building a structured program, and helping you make consistent gains. This is obviously going to help as well if you're already in the gym and you haven't had a program before. This will be like your way to have your first structured program with extra tips if you're a beginner to the gym. And yeah, let's get into the tips. So moving on to tip 1, we have how many sets, how many reps, and how often to train. So starting off with how often to train, I recommend you train 3 times a week, full body workouts. So that'll be good because as a teenager you have high recoverability, and as a beginner you also have high recoverability, so that should make it so you gain muscle nice and fast. That's what I started with. I started with 3 times per week, and that did very well for me for my first few months of training. As for sets and reps, you want to be doing between 3 and 5 sets and between 8 and 12 reps for maximum hypertrophy. So hypertrophy is basically muscle gain. So if you're training for hypertrophy, you'll look bigger, and there's other ways of training. So like strength, then you'll get stronger, which is what I normally do. And then you've got muscular endurance, which is sort of like for like making your muscle better at enduring long distance and long times of weights and activity. So yeah. Another thing that should be noted here is you need to split up your workouts. So if you're working out on Monday, you want to wait until Wednesday to do your next workout. And then when you do that workout, you want to wait until Friday until you do your next workout. So you want to split up your week and make it so there's at least a day in between each workout when you're training full body. This will just help you recover, because if you do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then have the rest of the week off, that isn't very good because your muscles haven't had time to recover in between each session. So just make sure you're leaving days in between each session if you can. So tip 2, we have how to structure your first workout plan. So for your first workout plan, like I said before, you want to be training 3 times per week, full body. So if you're busy on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays, you might want to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday as a workout plan. Like I said, making sure you're keeping days in between your workouts, and that will really help you recover. As well, you want to be making sure you include squat, bench, deadlift and overhead press. Now these are called compound movements because they use loads of different muscles. So the best way to get overall bigger is to use loads of different muscles to do so. When you're doing these, just make sure you search up all the form, and with any exercise, to be honest, just search up the form of each one on YouTube. There's about 1 million YouTube videos on deadlift form, bench form, squat form, overhead press form, and any type of form for any type of exercise you could ever need. So just make sure you're trying your best to keep good form, as that will build in good habits for the future of your workout plan and making sure you're hitting the muscle correctly. So I'm actually going to put up an example of what your workout plan could look like, and you're very welcome to use this exact workout plan if you want to get going. Now this isn't the way to do it, but it's a way to do it. So if you want to use this workout plan to get you going in the gym, then that's perfectly fine. Or if you want to change some things out and make sure it's similar, you just got to make sure you're hitting every muscle every single day. So a lot of these you'll see will have one exercise at least for each muscle every single day, making sure you build that overall size and making sure you're getting big, because that's the whole point of this video. And also, if you're one of the people that needs to do some fat loss, make sure you do your cardio on days that aren't your gym days. So you don't want to be doing your cardio before your gym session or your cardio after your gym session. If you're going Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you might want to do cardio Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and that will really help you lose weight whilst gaining muscle. Also, if you want to do stuff like football, for example, other activities, things that are like sports that you're interested in, that's also a really good way to make sure you're burning a lot of fat in that time as well, and you're doing something fun, so you don't sort of realize you're doing cardio rather than always doing running or walking on a treadmill. That is also another option if you're really interested in a sport, to do that sport on the days that you're not working out as well. So tip 3, we have bulking and cutting. So you need to decide whether you need to bulk or whether you need to cut. So if you're at a higher body fat, you may need to cut, or if you're, like I started with, quite a skinny person, then you'll need to bulk. So bulking is the act of eating calories above your maintenance. So you can go online and figure out your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, and that is what your body needs to stay the exact same weight. And you want to, if you download apps like MyFitnessPal, this stuff can help you with all that. You'll put in like a survey, and they'll tell you how many calories you need per day. And you want to, if you're bulking, add sort of, as a teenager, you want to go on more of the higher end, because your metabolism's higher if you're going to bulk. So you want to go sort of 500 calories above what your BMR is, your basal metabolic rate. So for example, if your basal metabolic rate is 1,500 calories, you'll need to be eating 2,000 calories at least to be gaining weight. Also, when you're bulking, you need to factor in the amount of calories you're burning as well. So if you burn 300 calories that day in a workout session, then you need to eat that as well to get back up to your normal rate, and then 500 calories above that. So for example, if your basal metabolic rate is 1,500 calories and you do a workout that's 300 calories, you burn 300 calories in that workout, then you need to eat 1,500 plus 300, which is 1,800, and then 500 calories above that. So that'll be 2,300 calories to bulk. And for cutting, you want to do the same thing, but you want to eat at your basal metabolic rate whilst doing exercise, or slightly below. You can, if your basal metabolic rate, for example, if you're a bigger guy, is 2,000, then you sort of want to eat slightly below that, maybe at about around 200 calories below that, or at the same rate, because that basically, what that will do is that will make sure you're losing fat, and if you're also doing cardio and things like that, that will also help quite a lot. Also, as you're someone that's trying to gain muscle here, you want to be eating a lot of protein. So you want to take your body weight. So for example, if your body weight is 60 kilos, you want to times that by 2.2 to make it into pounds. So 60 times 2.2, what's that, like 144? I don't know, don't quote me on that. Don't know really about the maths, but yeah, something around that. So you want to take 60, times that by 2.2, and that's how many grams of protein you should be aiming to go for. And if you times that number by 0.7, that is sort of the range in which you want to be eating protein to make sure your muscles are growing and recovering nice and fast, and making sure they're nice and big as well. So moving on to tip 4, we have supplements. So supplements you should be using as a beginner if you want to. Now these are completely optional, but if you're going to take supplements, these are the ones I recommend. So protein powder is very good for making sure that you're going to hit your protein target each day. So if you're someone that isn't very good at eating enough protein, and you feel like you can't hit your goal of between 0.7 and 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, then protein powder is a really good way of doing that. So, and also the other thing I recommend is creatine. So creatine, basically what creatine does is it increases energy in your muscles. So in one workout, maybe you normally can do 12 reps of an exercise. you might be able to do 13 with creatine, basically making sure you're doing more reps, which builds you more muscle. If you're someone that's cutting, creatine, what it can do is it adds a little bit of water weight to start with. So don't be disheartened if you start taking creatine and then you realize that your body weight's gone up a little bit. It doesn't matter. It's just water weight in your muscles to make them look bigger as well. And it obviously helps you with your training because you can get more reps in, build more muscle. And yeah, there is a link actually down in the description if you want to get any of this stuff. So there's a link in the description that is like an Amazon link to ones I recommend. So creatine I recommend, and protein powder I recommend. If you're thinking of buying any, go down in the description and check that out as well. I'd just like to state as well, both of these supplements are completely safe. They're all tested. Anything you hear about creatine, likely it's absolute BS. There's been so many scientific investigations and research done on creatine, and it's completely safe for everyone. As long as you're staying in the sort of spec of how much you should be having, so between 3 and 5 grams of creatine per day. I wouldn't recommend a loading phase. You might hear about a loading phase of creatine. I wouldn't recommend it. You get the same results if you just do 5 grams of creatine per day every day. Protein powder, again, couldn't be more safe. Literally just protein, same sort of stuff you'd find in chicken, stuff like this. It's just protein to help you get your macronutrients, which is basically your protein, carbs and fat. So it helps with the obviously protein part of it. It's protein powder, and it'll help you reach your protein target and help you build muscle and recover quicker and better. So tip 5, we have equipment. So sort of list of equipment that you can use. Weightlifting belt can really help you with your deadlifts and with lower back pain. So you use a weightlifting belt in, like I said, stuff like deadlifts, maybe bench press. You can use it. I like to use it in bench press. Squats, you can definitely use a weightlifting belt as well. Helps you keep everything tight and actually makes you lift a little bit more weight because it gives you something to push against, almost like another layer of abs around you. Also, another thing is knee sleeves. So what knee sleeves do is they'll protect your knee joint for squats and like leg press and things like that. You'd want to use knee sleeves. It protects your knee joints and basically makes it so you don't mess them up. Another thing that you could use is wrist straps. Again, protects your wrists and things like dumbbell, bench press, like overhead press, can protect your wrists, and bench press itself. Those are all things that can help protect your joints and make sure that you do not injure yourself. There is links down in the description if you want to buy yourself some of these. It'll just take you to Amazon, and it's like different things of equipment I'd recommend that you'd use if you do want to. Now, this is completely optional as well. You don't have to have these things, but if you want to be safe and you want to sort of stay on the safe side, you definitely can use some of these things to help you and make sure you stay safe and avoid injury. So that is the end of this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you feel a little bit more confident about stepping into the gym when you do so, or if you already have, starting your first structured program and starting to get those consistent gains over a long period of time. So as a little overview, tip 1, we had sets and reps. So between 8 and 12 reps, 3 and 5 sets, and you want to be training sort of 3 times per week. Tip 2, we had structuring your first program. So obviously, like I said before, training 3 times per week, leaving a day in between, and if you need to, doing cardio as well in between those days. Tip 3, deciding whether to bulk or cut. So if you're one of the heavier guys, you might want to cut down, and if you're one of the lighter guys, you might want to bulk up. So adding calories if you want to bulk, removing calories if you want to cut. So tip 4, supplements. We had protein powder and creatine. Deciding if you want to use those or not is very optional as well. Obviously, protein powder to get more protein in, creatine to improve the quality of your training. And then tip 5, we had equipment. So belt, knee sleeves, wrist straps, and that sort of stuff to help sort of protect all your joints and make sure you're staying safe during your lifting journey. So yeah, thank you for watching the video all the way to the end. If you have, please leave a comment if you have watched all the way to the end. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.